Arca Bulls family, what's good? What is good, my family? Thank you for coming by. Very excited to be streaming tonight. Again, what is up? What is up, people? Throw those A's in the chat if you can hear your boy speak. Please make sure to throw those A's in the chat right now if you can hear this boy speak right now. What is up, guys? What is good? What is good in the hood? Oh, my goodness. Let me know that you can hear me right now, guys. Throw those A's in the chat, right? We're just making sure that you guys can hear me because it is a new setup, right? It's well, not exactly new, right? It's just a different mic going through the same interface, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys are hearing me speak, right? So as I now am starting to process the voice a little bit differently, I found out that I could continue processing the voice after this USB mic. So very good. I actually did catch a little bit of a better quality, possibility here. So OBS Studio, that's that thing that I use to kind of edit my vocals. I'm sorry, to stream my vocals, to show you the videos and show you the display, right? Like literally what you're looking at right now. So I didn't know that it actually had the ability to add things called plugins, right? So plugins being processors for your whatever input you have. So, and I have a plethora of plugins for my audio stuff, right? So I was able to add an EQ, some noise suppression and stuff. So I'm trying to get it to be as close as I can to the other setup that I had before. Well, with the other mic, but to preserve some life in the gear here, right? So I definitely feel a little more confident. It feels good actually to talk through that process. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Moderators, Mark Roach, Cal L, what's up, you guys? Thank you for coming by. Thank you for sticking around here with your boy. Really, very, very, very much appreciate you. Okay, so Otto, what you talking about? MMTLP to the moon? You mean MMAT? Because I am looking at that one today. So I did notice here that there is a huge pump to the upside, and so we will absolutely be taking a look at that. What's up, my power lifter? I saw you, bro. I saw you. And yes, we'll go ahead and go over that ticker symbol Tesla. We're also going to go over that ticker symbol Boyle. Somebody asked me about that yesterday, right? So we'll make sure to cover as many tickers as we can, right? Yes, so you're absolutely welcome for the COSM video, not a problem. So Aiden, I'm sorry, dude, I didn't mean to skip over the comments, right? I'm just trying to refer back to the chat here, as there were a few comments before I actually started to stream, right? But yeah, I'll make sure to take a look at the DMs in Discord, and I'll get right back to you, my dude. Of course. All right, so yes, you guys, let's go ahead and continue on with the chat. What's going down? My Stick Vicious, that is a heavy entry, man. Thank you so much. That really does mean a great deal. Destiny, I got you. We'll cover it, okay? So that really means a lot, dude. So with that donation, with that massive dono, you're saying sup, y'all, all good. Monday Eve here with my battle and friends. Absolutely, guys, this is going to be a very good stream. We have a lot of good tickers to look at, right? And I know, you know what, I do have AMC in here too. Not exactly sure actually if anyone is already in the know as to what could have happened for AMC. What happened? How did this inverse play happen? We literally got this on AMC and that on Ape. I actually saw it in the after hours come in hot like that, and I'm like, what just happened? Right? So I'm very curious myself. If anyone knows information, go ahead and drop it in the chat, as I would be very happy to see what the deal is there, right? So yeah, you guys. And also, we're going to be taking a look at a very cool ticker here. Mark Roach asked us to look at, right, BBAI, with a very massive upside thrust happening right now as we speak. This one has some good opportunities within it. Mark Roach, I hope you're already long this ticker, because there could be a continuation to the upside. And yes, we'll also take a look at that GETY ticker. Okay, you guys, we got a lot of them. We got a lot of good things coming through right now, right? So yeah. So let's see. Mr. Levitz, what's up? And Otto saying the settlement of the lawsuit in AMC. Oh, okay. So interesting how Ape ended up going up, right? as you would think that they would both go down, since they're supposed to be running in tandem, but apparently not. Well, forever now, right? So very interesting things. Thanks for sharing that information, by the way. And Mr. Levitt saying the court battle ended. The reverse merger going forward, I believe. I mean, That's kind of like what was going to happen anyway, right? Destiny, I got 5,000 AMC and 7 and 8 at a very high price. Destiny, you are not alone. There are several people here, and I'm still like I'm still a very stubborn original trader. As actually I have never removed my entry from I'm talking about a year ago. At this point, it's actually just more for the fight. Right, for the purpose rather than the actual gain, right? So in my personal entry from back when I actually had capital to trade and I was barely learning, I entered $8,000 into AMC, and that is not looking too good right now, right? But it's all good, you guys. We are making hedge trades against all that every single day, so it's looking very good. So now let's see what's going down here. Cash Mountain trades, yeah, definitely was a good arbitrage move right there, right? So Mark Roach sharing very important information here regarding the SEC filings. Okay, so please read that as well. Eric Powerlifter, what you saying? So Arca, has your trading and profit taking increased since the YouTube thing started? Sorry, not trying to be too personal on here. My profit taking has always been, well, for the last 6 months has always been very, very consistent. And the reason why I say this is because I tend to pull out usually at about 7 or 8%, followed by a 13%, followed by a 17%. So usually those are my take profit percentages regardless. If I see weakness in the market, I'll definitely liquidate the position. But I'm not that person anymore to where I look for the moonshots, right? You guys, I don't do that anymore. So if that's answering your question correctly, I hope that it's good enough for you, right? But what I can say is that since YouTube and since the whole Twitter thing and just the explosion of this Arca Bulls brand, I actually have minimized or actually started trading a little less than I used to before, right? But it's okay, and that's the reason why I'm offering the last course for the master's course, right? Because I would like to actually concentrate on my trading a little more, as that's primarily what I do like to do, right? This is literally why I became who I guess became, right? Because I love trading. So I want to make sure to focus in on that. And then you guys would also benefit from that too. I know you're benefiting from the courses, from the ArcMastersCourse course, right? But I feel that if I maintain my edge, if I make sure to pay attention to the markets as best as I could, then we'll have a serious edge for the upcoming bull cycle, whenever that may be, right? So Arca doesn't have time to trade, says Stick Vicious. Busy helping us. I still do some small trading here. Remember, guys, that my kid, my toddler, still has that low iron issue, right? So that also kind of like his sleep gets interrupted here and there. So it also kind of pushes me away from trading a bit. Okay, but I honestly can't stack too many things, on top of me not trading. So I just, that's why I'm saying, guys, if you do have the means, definitely consider enrolling into the ArcMasters trading course, as the third week of April would be when it would launch. The first track is already underway, so this second track will be the last one, and then maybe I'll consider it in a few months, maybe a year or something. But it'll be a while before I come back to it. Okay, you guys. So there are seats still available. So consider reaching out to me on the email in the description below. All right, you guys. So Rocky Mountain Gobblers, what you saying, man? Will you sell your master's course as recorded later? So that is absolutely in the cards. I will absolutely consider that. In fact, I'm in the talks with that with several people, including moderator Cal L and very close friends. Okay, so yes, there is the possibility, but I will make sure to update you on that. Okay, so Sebastian Lim, what's up, my moderator? Thank you for coming by. Stiga COSM to the moon soon, or what? Yes, man, I hope you saw that video that I just released on COSM, as it did have a pretty nice little something happening. It looks like the floor is near. Okay, so definitely catch that video whenever you can, okay? So Eric Powerlifter saying, dude, well, someone in here is going to hit you with the biggest super chat ever once they get that consistent edge. Let's go. Oh my goodness. So Powerlifter, yes, we can always work on that consistency, right, you guys? So it really does. Actually, you know what? I can just say this right now, you guys. You know what? Even I know I have master students present right now, right? So this is something I'm going to be talking to them about a little later. It's just a little too soon for it, but I can say it out loud because I would like to share a lot of the things that I share with them, but I just don't have all the time in the world, right? So, I get a lot of questions regarding your hit rate or your win rate, saying, Arca, I have a 70% hit rate now. What do you think? Like, is that good or is that bad? Do you think I should get to 80? Or guys, that's a misconception. Don't ever feel like your win rate should be a higher percentage. Don't do that, okay? Because I know traders that have a 25% hit rate with bigger wins than they do their losses. As long as you are creative with the way you manage your losses and the way you manage your risk, then you'll be good. You can absolutely have a 25% hit rate and still be way more profitable. All right, so just know that is a huge misconception. Daniel Gonzalez, what's up, man? What's up? Thanks for coming by, man. So I hope you caught that COSM video and COEP, man. There is some strength happening in there. So we'll continue updating the communities, right? So now AMC Ape Pittsburgh saying Ape and AMC. Let's see. Every ape share converts to an AMC. Wow, man, incredible how we didn't like it before. Oh, good. I'm happy you just watched them. Incredible how we didn't like it before, right? But I wasn't anyone when I told everybody, no, don't let this split. Don't let this split, right? I was telling everybody this is not a good thing. This is going to be dilution. They're just hiding it, all right? I think I had probably around 74 followers on Twitter when I was saying this. No one, and absolutely no one acknowledged that, right? So, good times there, guys. But we hated it before and we hate it now. It's just, man, we don't even know what to do with losing over here, man. That sucks. Okay. Anyway, you guys. So yeah, please remember what I just said. It does not matter your hit rate. Okay. Your strike rate for your wins. Just make sure that you can manage your losses. Okay. So if you have a controlled amount of small losses, then that means that your wins are just going to be that much bigger, right? Just know that could be kind of figured into your strategy, into your system. Okay, so Destiny saying, should I sell AMC tomorrow and buy more Ape? Well, that would be incredibly unwise to sell it at a huge discount, right? So likely things like this tend to bounce. Okay, so just I can't suggest for you to buy or sell anything. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can say that sometimes there is a bounce followed by these things. Okay, because I mean, I'm talking about from what it was $5 to $3. That's a huge discount. Okay, and I can see that people are trying to make that the floor. All right, but regardless, we have it here in the list. I'll try to get to it. I know it's a bit far away, right? But we'll try our best to get to it. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the analysis. I want to look at the broader markets first because we need to see what's going down here. And we actually talked about a potential bullish continuation in the broader markets, and it looks like it's already continuing as such, right? So let's just see if we can gain an edge over that. Okay, you guys. So I'm very happy that I can still be heard right now, and I'm still coming in as clear as day. So that's very encouraging for me right now. Okay, so let me write on my notes right here that we're going to be looking at ticker symbol SPY, right? So let's see. Here we go. All right, so ticker symbol SPY. Please remember, if you are not familiar with how we've been doing things, we're just looking at the broader markets first, and then we continue on to looking at our ticker picks, right? So SPY on the 3-day, we've been looking at this massive broadening descending wedge started from the bear cycle back in the end of 2021, right? So now looks like we're actually starting to make a very curious breakout in which could suggest higher targets coming in. All right, so please go ahead and notice that there is a smaller time frame broadening descending wedge as the prep for the breakout from this larger time scale wedge, right? So in this case, we absolutely got the golden rule of 3 breakout on test number 4, retest of the newly converted resistance into support, and now we've continued onwards and upwards. Okay, so this looks absolutely ready for a continuation to the upside, and a 3-day time frame, huge upside pivot right in the gravitational zone. So now you can see that there is a potential to continue on to the upside here for SPY. Just like we said, right? We were talking about call options just yesterday, actually. So if you did load up those calls on SPY, congratulations. I know you're definitely up right now. So let's go ahead and move on to the shorter time frames, right? So I want to see just how consistent we can be with the call here, right? I hate using the word, but it's just, for lack of better words, I'm just going to go ahead and use the call, right? So We have a consolidation period on the immediate short-term time frame. Let's see the bi-hourly. So the bi-hourly time frame does have a little bit of consolidation here, and I mean consolidation really, despite the fact that we do have a downside here. It's because if you can see that we've been failing that 14-day and recovering it, and it looks like we could be doing something like this on the way up. Okay, as there is a clear regression here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the 6 hour, see what else we got in store for this. Okay, 6 hour time frame looks like it can pull back, but please remember these tiny little pivots, they never, I mean, I don't want to say never, right? But they often don't play out well, right? So pivot right here looks like we're going to reverse. Nope. Pivot right here looks like it's going to reverse. Nope. So, I mean, what are the odds here, right? So, of course, there is no real back test to little pivots like this. It's just too much of a nuisance here, right? So, in my personal opinion, it looks like we're going to continue to the upside. But let's continue validating that thesis, okay? Same deal here with the 12-hour tiny little pivot. Many pivots failing, right? So let's look at the daily, and the daily should be upside. Yeah, daily, we have an upside pivot right here entering the bull strength percentile. 14-day huge pivot to the upside. Very cool. Even the bi-daily should be on that upside. Yeah, we have that gravitational zone here on that bi-daily. Upside pivot on that 14-day simple. We already saw the 3-day with a massive upside. The 5-day should be similar. 5-day upside of the 14-day simple moving average. This is very important, you guys. We're approaching that gravitational zone here. We still have about a day, 16 hours to close this 5-day iteration here, this candle. So that means that if we are able to close, let's see, let's just take a look at the ranges in a discretionary manner. Okay, so I think I would have to favor, let's see, right at a, okay, it is a range. I would suggest right in here, like this. And let me get to the downside. The lowest end I think could be around here. Right, let's split the difference there. Okay, so 406.73 to 408.84. Closing a 5-day candle above this range here would essentially be a validator for a continuation to the way up. Okay, so as it is very powerful. This is huge. Okay, you guys. So now what you're looking at here on a 5-day iteration here is the formation of about the three white soldiers, right? So upon the closure of this daily, of this 5-day candle, a day and 16 hours, you have a very bullish formation here from a V-shaped recovery, right? So this would essentially be a validator for a continuation to the upside as that candle formation, and also the breakout out of the broadening descending wedge, and also the breakout out of this larger broadening descending wedge. So all of those things are very, very bullish signals suggesting a continuation to the upside. So SPY is looking mighty strong. Okay, you guys. So now, if I can just talk to you about, let's see, volatility versus momentum. There could be a little bit of weakness coming in on the shorter time frame, so that's entirely okay, because it looks like it's just following a natural ebb and flow, right? So it could be just reaccumulation before a continuation to the upside, as this massive contraction period is still expanding, and it looks like it wants to reach the critical expansion zone. Okay, so now let me see the 6 hour. That would be as small as I want to go. So let me go to the bi-daily now, since we saw the daily. Bi-daily, just massive upside in the bullish control zone and the gravitational zone with actually expansion happening right now. Okay, so now that we're seeing the bi-daily starting to expand like that, there could very well be a reversion target. Okay, so let's just look at that algo and see if there's anything above us. Okay, so man, in fact, that reversion is actually suggesting $400 below us. I do not feel too much of a bias for the downside on this, to be very, very clear here. Okay, as this bi-daily candle is going to close in 15 hours and 45 minutes, likely tomorrow, and closing this above the area 408.87 would also be a validator for a continuation to the upside. I am still eyeballing 417.02 to just be short and honest here. Okay, so that is going to do it for ticker symbol SPY. Let's go ahead and move on to ticker symbol BOIL. Okay, so BOIL is actually your oil futures. Okay, so I'm sorry, the pro shares of your oil. Okay, it's natural gas, nat gas. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this real quick. I'm going to make sure that we are getting it started, right, and we'll move right along. Okay, so ticker symbol BOIL. Remember, guys, this is 2x leverage, so you are looking at 2 times your losses or 2 times your gain. Okay, you guys, so be very careful when you're trading these pro shares. Okay, these pro shares can present a very, very dangerous outcome here, and they are very volatile too. Okay, but that that's volatility is actually a day trader's friend, right? So let's just go ahead and see what Boyle has in line for us. Okay, so 12-hour is looking a little silly right now. So let me just see the macro time frame to see how we're playing this out, because I know there was a macro scale broadening descending wedge even longer than the one that we had from the SPY. In this case, this broadening descending wedge starting from June 2016, and it looks like it could be in that process of a breakout. But what I mean by breakout is the point that we're at the floor. Okay, so that's the only reason I'm saying that it could be in line. Okay, so let's see, too many tests of the resistance already. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually when you start diving into 6, right, that usually presents a bearish outlook. Okay, so 6 and 7, of course. I'm sorry, 6, right? Of course, I actually just taught the master students this. When you start to look at test number 6 after test number 5, very likely going to be continuing to the downside. And we did get a capitulatory period here, and it did reach all the way to the floor, of which it may be actually trying to validate it actually on this weekly candle. Let's see the weekly. What's the time frame closure here? 2 days and 16 hours, and it is looking not bad thus far. Okay, so now let's pull up our if we're going to face an upside, right, then let's just try to see if we can validate that starting from a shorter time frame. Let's see. Let me look at the 5-day real quick just to see if there's a setup. Well, it looks like volatility versus momentum on all the upper time frames is critically oversold with maxed out expansion here. Okay, so this thing starts to contract. That would essentially put us on a mean reversion play. And if you're looking at upside targets here, meaning holding Boyle for more than a week, meaning a 3-week or 4-week swing play, then there could be a very high target here. And that target is being suggested to be about $15.58. This could be a month-long play, okay, or more, okay, but it's still it's looking like it could suggest that target. This is the algo that I just developed, right? The reversion variant. All right, so let's continue on with that validation, the validation of an upside thesis. Let me look at the 3-day volatility versus momentum. It's looking like you see this 3-day, the exponential moving average. The 14 is slower, right? This is a 14 simple. And the 3-day exponential looks like it's losing a little bit of that bear strength, which is actually in conjunction with the bottom side of this wedge. All right, so let's continue looking at this right here. So the buy daily is very nice here, okay? So this is, I'm just going to go ahead and draw the 90 percentile here because that is the area where you want to see volatility reach to, right? So volatility component is at that 90% right now. Ideally, we would like to have the moving average as well touch or surpass the critical volatility zone. The reason why I'm saying that this is very attractive here is because this oval is essentially what we look for a statistical play, right? So, or a volatility play. So this looks like it could have very likely found the floor and on the buy daily iteration. So this is not bad. See how the RSI is also slowing down just a little bit too. In fact, the RSI signal line is within the gravitational zone of the oversold percentile. So very likely for this to actually find a type of pullback and then start reverting to the upside. So if I'm telling you anything right now, there is a high likelihood that if you long ticker symbol BOIL, you could be longing the floor here. Okay, so this, remember that there's no way that I can actually tell the future here, but the indicators are suggesting a potential floor in right now. Okay, so daily time frame RSI is still suggesting some downside, but please notice here that the pivots are starting to face up here on the stochastics oscillator, and we're also starting to contract yet again. All right, so it's looking not bad. Let's look at the immediate short-term time frame to see if there could be a type of loading zone here for ticker symbol Boyle. Let me put that right back. Right there we go. And let's see the price action now alongside the RSI. So yeah, limited downside here on that 30-minute immediate short-term time frame. Very likely to come back to a relevant area of support, and that could be in line with this. Let me see. Yeah, I would say right about here. $3.31 as a first stop. Your second stop would be right at about $3.28. Okay, very, very confluent targets here to look at. In fact, that $3.38 could be a range, and now actually my bias is more towards this support zone here in the immediate short term. 326 to 328, very likely to touch down here and continue onwards. So let's move along to the bi-hourly and see what it's got for us. So bi-hourly time frame looks come on, load it. There we go. Still a little bit of downside right here on that bi-hourly, validating even further this support line down here, right? So let me see if we have anything down there. So, resistance from the EMA 7 and 30, sorry, and the SMAs. Let's see, resistance from the SMA 10. Okay, so yeah, very likely, since we have resistances from the exponentials and the simples, very likely for us to come back down to this area, find a bounce from it, right? So again, reiterating that this is the floor or a potential floor found. Okay, so 6 hour time frame. Let's see what it's got. 6 hour time frame looks to be finding the floor too. Look at this. We're almost about to touch that 14-day simple moving average, and this in conjunction to the 6 hour, it looks like it could be this space here. Okay, so yes, I'm still favoring that 326 to 328 support before an upside. Let's look at the 12 hour. The 12 hour is making a cross below the 14-day simple, but I mean, also the bears look like they're losing strength, right? So this could be correction, and if it is going to continue on to the downside, since the pivot is very, very light, it could be in respects to this touch here, 328 again. So 328 is just shining in my direction here personally. Okay, you guys. So daily time frame kind of validates that it is going to be a potential downside day, a red day tomorrow, followed by the potential next day at the very most. Then we could actually see a recovery here for ticker symbol BOIL as that recovery starts to show some clarity into the buy daily. Notice how the buy daily is in the gravitational zone here with an absolute very weak bear pivot. So yeah, it could be coming in, guys. There's an upside to be looked at here, but we have to evaluate this. And the buy daily also setting up this setup that we were looking at, right? So yeah, something's up with BOIL here, guys, and it may very well make an upside soonish. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Make sure to keep that eye on that battle. Dude, thank you so much. That really does mean so much to my family, dude. So saying flood the chat with yeah. So chat, in respects to my Stick Vicious over here giving me 2 very nice donations, please go ahead and throw those whales in the chat, right? As you know, the OGs know in here that I was known as Orca, right? So throw those orcas in the chat right now for my dude. I'm gonna give you a round of applause, my dude. Thank you so much. That means so much to me and my family here. Okay, so as it would help me continue on the streams here for the public, right, for the community. Guys, thank you so much for everything you do. That really does mean a lot. Okay, you guys. Mark Roach, thank you for the orcas, man, and also for the crystal balls, right? Monster Mike B, what's up, dude? Good to see you here in the chat. And the Real Tech Geek, guys, thank you. Miss L, always good to see you here. Thank you for the orcas, you guys. So, oh my goodness, man, that's so funny, so funny. As you guys know, that the orcas are usually the shark killers, right? So the sharks being the shorts. Ooh, play on words. Aiden Davis, thanks for that throw, man. Yeah. All right, you guys. So Powerlifter saying, Arca, what kind of mouse do you use? I've been using an Apple Magic Mouse with my Mac. Kind of acts goofy with TradingView. So I actually run a very, very large mouse, and this mouse is actually the ergonomic Kensington mouse. It's the large wheel. It's a ball, right? So it has 4 buttons all the way around it and a spinner in between, so that I can be able to do when I spin the wheel. If you can, I'm just gonna roll it here on the mic. You hear that? So it's a wheel all around the ball, and that actually allows me to zoom out and zoom in, right? So it is an ergonomic mouse. I think let me see which one it is. Damn, that's another thing that I'm gonna be putting up. The only reason I haven't put up my damn freaking link for the Amazon affiliates is because it has my name on it, and I can't figure out how to change it. All right, so we'll get that. I'm going to give you guys the ideas because I do have every single piece of gear that I use on that, okay? So hold off just for a quick day, and I will be providing you guys that link so you can see every single last thing that I use in my live stream, and I'll take pictures of it too for you guys too. All right, so yes, that, guys, something's up with ticker BOIL. Keep that in your watch list because something can be brewing here. We'll continue looking at it. So I want to now take a look at ticker symbol TSLA, as it did end up reaching the targets that we were talking about yesterday almost to the damn penny, right? So I like it. And yes, boiling, it is brewing and boiling and all kinds of silly things. Indra, what's up? What's up? Good to see you here. All right, so yes, let's go ahead and make a note here that we're going to be starting off ticker symbol TSLA, which was interesting that we did get a downside on this, right, versus the markets continuing on to the upside. How in the heck did that happen, right? So did we get some type of news here? So how billions, let's see, when was this? This was 2 hours ago. Let's see, how billions are being pledged for the clean energy race in the U.S., Europe. Okay, there's really nothing coming down with this. Powerlifter, that's very nice of you, man. Thank you so much. And yes, I will be able to provide that stuff. I can't deal with too much movement with my wrist, right, as I am behind the screens a lot. So I have to make sure that I take care of my joints here, man. So that's not to say that I'm old, right, but I'm just saying that I do spend a lot of time behind the screens. All right, so yes, you guys, very interesting touch here to the supports down here. In fact, I don't even remember if I actually said downside to this. Did I say actually upside the last time? Please let me know, right? Because I'm actually not remembering what I did say. Johnny Barnes, you always say you're old, bro, but I saw your pictures, man. You look young as hell. All right, man. So the real tech saying magnesium. Yeah, magnesium with a combination of, what was it again? What was it, B9 or B2? I forgot what it was. What other vitamin combined with magnesium to keep that young age, right? Also, guys, definitely your diet, right? So I'm one to speak right now. I definitely have a lot to work with on my diet. But yes, eating a colorful meal can absolutely help you. B12, there you go. B12 combined with magnesium could help, right? So, an AI mouse. No, man, I actually, this mouse has its own case too. I take it everywhere if I need to be behind a computer, right? So whenever I had studio sessions, I would take it with me because it's just my mouse, you know? All right, you guys. So yes, absolutely. Mark Roach knows, man. So there are plenty of people in here who knows the importance of that diet, including Mark Roach, right? So yeah, you guys, let's go ahead and now start off with ticker symbol Tesla. I'm going to just adjust the time just a little bit because I am moving along a little later, right? I'm trying to say what's up to the chat too, you guys. I appreciate everybody coming by here. I don't want to ignore you the whole time, right? But we still got business to attend to, right? So Tesla making a huge downside move, and we're at a relevant support. So I like it, okay? I like the relevant area of support, but what I'm afraid of here is the fact that we actually started to we started a downside pivot here on that momentum oscillator, didn't we? So also, the thing that could save this, suggesting a massive downside, is actually volatility. Since volatility is contracting again, right, this could very well mean loading up yet again of volatility right down here. And this could essentially have us explode to the upside pretty soon. I'm very surprised that we did. Well, I mean, I'm actually not all that surprised that we failed this bearish formation. It is a bearish formation, the ascending channel, except that I feel like I really do feel like it failed a little premature here. So which means that there could be a recovery here. Okay, so let's just validate what could be happening here. Let's just start looking at the immediate short-term time frame analysis. Okay, so we still have upside on the stochastics on the 30-minute, critical volatility down here below the 15 percentile, and we look like we're right at that support from the 14-day simple. Very likely for us to find an upside soon. Okay, so bi-hourly, let's see what it's got. Consolidation on the bi-hourly, that floor could have been found. Okay, so 6 hour saying the floor is probably in too. Okay, so let's see the 12 hour also with that consolidation thing. I like it. Okay, the thing is that if we do find that floor and we stick to this area, even if we consolidate here for a few days, the more we consolidate within this range here, the better the probabilities are for an upside continuation. Okay, so it's definitely not a bad thing. So now I can actually see the regression happening here within the daily. We're not trading the channel in the daily. Okay, so this is actually, I'm just drawing a very discretionary line here. Okay, so as this could be, yeah, actually that's not too bad at all. We are beneath critical support right now, so that's just my way of doing things. Just don't follow that, okay? So daily RSI looking like it's about to find that support, right? Very close to that 14-day simple moving average, which means that it could be indicative of a potential floor again. Okay, so several time frames are suggesting a potential floor. That bi-daily RSI maybe finding that floor too, right? Right at that 14-day simple. Let's see the 3-day. The 3-day in absolute consolidation. The 5-day and weekly should be the same. Consolidation on that 5, weekly should be consolidating too. Okay, so in this case, you guys, we are in the gravitational zone here. Of course, we get pulled back. We're going to enter this gravitational zone here too, get pulled back into it. So this, all the higher term timeframes are telling me is that they're really waiting for the influence actually from the shorter time frames. Okay, so weekly time frame is a very nice 3 white soldiers here, right? So this is another indication of a potential continuation to the way up. And notice that the weekly also has an upside pivot on momentum while we're contracting. Very likely this is just a reaccumulation where we are right now before a continuation to the upside. Okay, so as you can see here on the weekly, that dip didn't feel so bad. Right now that you're looking at it from this perspective, it doesn't feel like it was just such a huge blow. Of course, it's a huge blow because, you know, it is, because it's just a larger time frame that's minimizing your visibility here. Okay, but it's looking very nice, and in fact, these are validators for a continuation to the upside, and the fact that we are at a critical inflection point right now, that all that indicates a potential floor, guys, before a continuation. All right, so now up the targets for the short term is it's something I can actually talk to you about. So if we're looking at a potential downside for a very short term, then I would suggest, actually, in my personal opinion, it looks like maybe 192.65 to about 193.84 again could be this space for reloading. Okay, but careful getting long this ticker when we have this capitulation event happening. Okay, even if the indicators are suggesting sideways. Okay, as very likely something could actually just spook someone, and then the whale just sells out, right? So thus increasing the supply, the available supply for Tesla, and then for sure, you know, this thing would actually continue to the downside, right? But it's still very much up there. The float is still 2.7 bill, right? And the cap is at a 616.2 billion. Okay, so huge mega cap here. Very likely to move the markets, okay? But very interesting that it didn't today. The SPY actually went and outperformed the ticker symbol Tesla. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Be careful when longing this, okay? So as this downside is very much a huge surprise. And in fact, the volume here on this 12-hour iteration, half the day today, was 4.57 million. Okay, this was huge. And this was this upside thrust here was 4.6 million, and you can see that the other iterations, this is like a 2 million right here. This is a 3 million here. This was a 3 million here. So volume and volatility is entering Tesla in a very violent manner. So careful with this ticker, okay? That's all I'm saying. So let's go ahead and finish off ticker symbol Tesla right there and continue on the analysis with our next ticker, okay? So this is actually per our moderator, Mark Roach, BBAI, and I do have to talk about this because there is a potential setup happening with BBAI, and it could be now, okay, you guys? Yes, obviously we have a nice run up already, but I just want to express to you the honest opinion behind some plays when I look at them at a first glance, right? So I want you to focus on volatility versus momentum here, okay? So you're seeing an upside pivot, potential signal fired already, meaning that the upside could be in play now in the 3-day time frame. So this means that it's a larger time frame upside to still look at. We'll refer to the shorter time frames as well. Okay, notice that we're starting to get that first kink from volatility starting to contract. Okay, so that kink is very important as it is now below the 90%, actually right at the 90 percentile. We want both of the moving average and the volatility component below that 90 percentile to continue a massive run here, okay? But I think I chose the minimum time frame. Let me see the 5-day volatility versus momentum. Man, it's already getting that kink, right? So, and it's already getting that kink there too. Okay, so all the way up to the 5-day is where we're looking at, okay? Never mind, actually, the weekly as well, damn. All right, so all the way up to the weekly. So this does have some huge thrust, and I'm not really sure why, right? So as let's see if there's anything released here. That's March 24th. There's nothing relevant to today. Yeah, let's just validate. So let me see just where that setup is actually still favoring an upside. Man, it's still favoring in an upside even in the 12-hour. Let me see historically just how far we've gone to the upside here versus where we're currently sitting, right? Because the present moment, volatility is sitting right now at about, let's see, 90%, right? 90.37%. But you can clearly see that there's several iterations of which we've maxed out. We've gone above 100%, right? Particularly to here in January 2019. Right, so this was a huge 100% gain, right? So it's still suggesting a massive upside. Okay, so let me look at the 8-hour as that could be. Wow, geez, no way. There's no give on this right now. There's really no give. Hold on. Okay, because this could be, guys, this could be a very, very interesting situation here. Man, so all these plays are all contraction to expansion. This is insane. All right, so almost everything is pivoted straight to the moon right now. And let me see the daily volatility versus momentum. Goodness gracious, no way. This thing is at 86% with a huge upside. This thing is still moonshotting here. My goodness. All right, so, and oh, good. Look at this. The daily barely with that fire. This thing fired just yesterday. The signal fired just recently, and we're starting to contract here. So let's look at what the buy daily is for sure. That's definitely like giving us a huge indication of an upside. Let me look at the reversion variant on the buy daily. We are at we're now beating the mean. Okay, so this means that there could be that new floor found, and that new floor is very consistent. 293 along the 1.618 at 294. Guys, that's ridiculous. Okay, so succeeding that 1.618 and turning the mean and the 1.618 into a form of support is just nonsense. Okay, so as there is a very, very strong opportunity here, and it looks like it's barely starting to load. You're starting to get that, you're starting to get this like small candle, a little bit larger candle, larger. This could actually present a very unique situation here. The top side of our Bollinger Bands, the volatility itself is very much confluent with the 4.618 at 515. Okay, so I'm not saying that we're going there right away. I'm just saying that it is very curious that is in line with our golden mean up here. Okay, so oh my goodness, man, this is crazy. All right, so let's continue on the analysis here. As I would, I have a lot of curiosity right now to the RSI. Goodness gracious, you guys, this is absolutely. This is impressive. This is very impressive, and it's just gold, right? So a lot of the times when we're not even overextended on the buy daily, let's just see where that opportunity could be. 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, just like we always do, right, you guys? So it looks like there could be an opportunity here to look at, but this may not actually continue to the downside too much because it is in the gravitational zone of the bull strength percentile from the RSI, right? So remember that gravitational zone, guys, is just 2% below that set. Your traditional setup for an RSI, okay, is your oversold percentile being 30% down here, overbought being above 70%, right? And you have your 50 in the middle. So I define your gravitational zones as 2% below any of those zones, right? So the percentile of the overbought, 2% up, meaning that gravitational zone to the downside, and your bear strength percentile being 2% down. And this would be your gravitation to the upside, okay? And likely with every other split, all right? So you can see here that I just use a 60% for bull strength. 60 and below would be bull weakness, okay? And notice right over here that we still have the same setup, just inversely, okay? So that's essentially the way I look at an RSI if you are curious here, okay? I know I say these things all the time and everybody's just like, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? So Sean O, thank you for that dono, my dude. Did someone say Adam Aaron wears Velcro shoes and a wig? Sean always comes in here with did someone say? Oh my goodness, dude. You could probably become famous out of that, man. Thank you for your dono, my dude. Thank you. I'm going to try my best to look at AMC, and if I don't look at it tonight, bro, I promise you personally that I'll make a dedicated video to AMC tomorrow, okay? And just let me know what else you need. All right, so, but anyway, you guys, let's continue on the analysis here. Buy hourly. Okay, dude, got to run ice cream time and anime. Nice, man. Be very safe, my dude. Thank you for your dono, by the way, and have a very good night. And I will catch you soon. All right, so yes, this is also suggesting that the downside from the 30-minute may actually not happen, or in fact, it could be very limited. Okay, so that let me see the 15-minute to see if that 15-minute as support as well. Okay, so the 5-minute support line, guys, damn, that's it's very, very short-lived. $3.10 could be a loading zone here, followed by $3.02. Okay, so $3.02 could be that area. Okay, so again, if you wanted to catch my personal target, it would be a very aggressive 294, right? So I can't say that it would actually reach that, as this is just a 5-minute RSI suggesting downside, right? So I mean, man, that's just really huge. So if you can compare the downside from here to here, with this massive pivot here, you can actually see that it was just barely from there to here, right? So this, may not actually happen. I'm just being honest here, okay, you guys? So I'm very aggressive with entries. Sometimes I tend to chase sometimes, but I try not to, okay? And what I mean by aggressive is being very conservative to the point to where it may not even fill me, all right? So let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here. Let's see the 6-hour time frame, BBAI, and this is a pivot right here that will very likely not succeed the downside. 12-hour time frame, also with that similar pivot that may not succeed the downside, right? Daily time frame, absolute moonshot here, entering the bull strength percentile. Yes, we are in that gravitational zone here that can actually bring us down, but the growth here, the upside thrust versus leaving behind that 14-day simple, guys, suggests a continuation to the upside regardless of the gravitational zones here, okay? So by daily, RSI making a very important cross literally on Thursday, so very curious that this is the first time that it's actually crossed to the upside since, February 13th, okay? So, man, it took over a month, it was a month and a half in under that 14-day simple, and finally starting to succeed it. By daily, RSI signal near the gravitational zone, very likely to continue onwards and upwards for a few days here, you guys, okay? So the 3-day time frame appears to be finding some type of resistance, but if you zoom in very closely, you'll notice that this is actually crossing the 14-day simple to the upside. There you go. See that? Sometimes you have to just look at the very, very tiny nuances, right? So this is crossing that 14-day simple, very likely going to continue onwards and upwards here, you guys, for a few days. In fact, if I can just provide some simple transparency here, I may trade this one. All right, so let's go ahead and give a round of applause right here for Mark Roach. Mark Roach, thank you for suggesting this one for the community here, as this could present a very nice opportunity to get long and get some gains, right? Let's make a nice gainer here. Upside targets, guys, my resistance still stands between 368 and about 369 and 384, right at that 618 or slightly over it at the resistance levels of these liquidity pools right over here, guys. This would be an absolute nice touch to a day trade, right? Very, very, very likely can touch this area following tomorrow or the next day. Okay, so keep this one in mind, you guys. BBAI is very attractive, and I could very well tell you with confidence here that I will, trade this one. Okay. All right, so notice your 5-day also crossing in this, guys. I've also explained, not a problem, Destiny. I'm always here to help, right? I want to explain to you guys here the importance of making a cross above a moving average, whether it be price action or whether it be a golden cross or a silver cross, moving average crossovers. The importance of making a proper upside cross of moving averages, it would be based on an upside, right? So if you're looking to get long, via a crossover strategy, consider making your crossover strategy when the moving average is to the upside and your price action and or RSI signal and whatever else is also to the upside. This is a huge indication for a continuation to the upside, okay? This is very powerful for the 5-day time frame, okay? So this thing is creating a bunch of capital for a lot of people, okay? So the very important targets to consider here, you guys, would be that 369 to 384 if it does have enough thrust via momentum. I'm talking about FOMO here. very likely this thing could surpass that 3.618,441 if not stop there, right? But this could be the overall target here and a very important sell target to get the hell out. Right, so despite what everything else is saying, right? So as this in a formation aspect, let me see. Yeah, maybe. Let me just see something else real quick. Actually, I'm very curious to see if this thing is trying to make a breakout or what here, right? So let me see if I can align here a channel. Could very well be like this, actually. Holy goodness, I think it is. And no, I'm not gonna favor that. I don't think it's valid. What I was trying to do is create some type of a channel here, right? So based on previous resistances, right? So I don't think the channel is there. I'm trying to force it here, so that's actually not a good thing to do. All right, so yeah, guys, I'm definitely keeping an eye on BBAI, and now you know where those potential loading zones could be and where your targets could be, okay? So just remember, guys, risk management here, okay? If it doesn't play out, you now know what your max loss for the day could be, okay? So just let it. Remember the theory that I just gave you at the start of this stream. Okay, there are serious millionaire 7-figure traders who have a strike rate of win rate of about 25%, and everything else is losses. But for some reason, they're millionaires, right? So it comes down to your edge, all right, you guys. So that's what I'm looking at right here. I started tinkering with something. I don't even know what I just did right now. You heard those little ticks? Man, I get nervous. I get nervous here, you guys, when I can't deliver, enough information for people to really understand that not only the risk management, but I'm talking about managing your own personal risk, right? It's so important, guys. It's very important to survive for another day of trading, especially when you're on smaller accounts. Okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here, and we're going to start off now. Ticker symbol GETY, as that was another request for me. And guys, if you have by any chance put a request in the ticker picker, I apologize, but I for some reason have not looked at that over the last day or two. I'm just being honest right now. But now that I know, it is absolutely in my radar, and I will be putting together a ticker picker for the next stream. Okay, you guys. So let's continue on. Are you Stick Vicious? Are you long this ticker GETY? I'm gonna go ahead and I can leave it here at 9:47. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this started, you guys. So I already like this because the 3-day exponential moving average is the one that I take into more consideration than I do the 14. Why, you guys? Why I do that is because it is the faster time frame. So meaning that when this one decides to actually not react to an upside, see how this reaction right here, let me just zoom in a little bit, okay? Just to give you a quick idea here, okay? I'm just giving you guys out gold right now, okay? So pay close attention to this because I noticed right here that the chat is not as full, so I will definitely release this information to you guys right now, okay? So notice this. When you have a quick upside move from this, and then your 14-day simple reacts very nicely to it, but it said no. The 3-day exponential was like, no, I don't think we're actually ready for that. So it reacts to price action faster to the downside than it does the 14. So it rejects the upside. It comes back down, pressures the 14 period down because it's a slower moving average. Okay, so now in this case, you can actually see that there was a small pivot back here. We got the pivot on that 14, but the exponential 3 period is not giving in just yet. So it is actually pretty consistent right here with an upside. What's going on? There we go. It is pretty consistent with an upside here, so I'm liking it. Not only that, is the 3-day exponential is still sitting in the bullish control zone, which is above the 50 percentile of the stochastics oscillator, okay? Another thing you can notice here is that it's within the 2% of the gravitational zone. Okay, so this can actually suggest a continuation to the upside. Now notice, if you start to pair this volatility with momentum, you'll start to see that the upside is very likely because we are now expanding and getting very close to critical volatility at within the 90 percentile, right? So And not only that, it's just the daily time frame has now succeeded the 50-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. Okay, so if let's just go ahead and take a look at this here. Okay, I understand that we did get a very extreme downside here, but this is a golden cross. Okay, so this is a crossover strategy happening before our eyes. This is the 50. Usually the crossover strategies, you guys, happens when the shorter time frame moving average moves above the longer time frame moving average. Okay, so I'm only saying these things out loud to my master students and you because this is our week coming up. Week number 4 is going to be for moving averages, right? So this is a golden cross you're looking at here, 50-day simple over the 100-day simple on the daily. Very important to look at that metric, okay? So this moving average is very sought after, right? So please go ahead and notice that we succeeded upside of the 100 and the 50-day simple. So this is very curious that now we have those two very important moving averages as support. Not only that, the 12-hour time frame, you can see here the 200-day simple moving average and the 100. I mean, if you want to be real clear, you have the 10 and the 50, all of them as support below us, okay? So even if we did get a downside here, which could be to 564, would present a great opportunity to get long this ticker, right? So let's go ahead and pull up our volatility versus momentum and see what those potentials are for a continuation to the upside, right? Let's start off with that 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, and I'm going to load up the RSI, okay? So let me just pair all of these things that there could be a very interesting tiny little opportunity to get long this ticker, okay? But I don't want to just I mean, look at this, guys. This is absolute, just very healthy growth using the 50 and the SMA 10 as its area in a guide to that upside, right? So right now we are right at that support from the SMA 10. That does not mean that we cannot fail it, right? So as there is a potential, actually, man, this is just consolidation here. So 30-minute consolidation. Let's see if the 15-minute or 5-minute have a downside here. So that we can understand, okay, consolidation on the 15 as well. Very confluent to what we're looking at here with the price action, right? Just sideways trading. And it's short term, okay? So short term too on that 5-minute. So if there were a potential to get long this, anything can happen at any moment, right, you guys? So I would personally say maybe 576 at the SMA 50, right, of the 5-minute. All right, so let's go ahead and now look at the buy hourly and see what we got for a continuation here. So downside to be faced also on the buy hourly. So 585 being shined on again. Okay, so now it's actually a range that I'm looking at. Yeah, this is the range right here. I'll draw it in for you, just like. Let me see. Let me get closer to my screen. And this would be it, right to these candles here, just like this. I'm looking at these candles, right? So I know that I was drawing it from here, but I'm drawing it from here while looking at the historical areas of support, right? So this would essentially be that area to look at. First of all, there's a gap there. So that gap in the buy hourly could very well serve as a point of support. So 585 is already kind of in line here, right? So, we can also get a little more surgical, right? And bring up the 7 period and even the 9 period. So if we were to fail the immediate support here on the buy hourly, then there is a secondary support of which we wouldn't be compromising market structure, and that could be at 568. So to be completely honest, in a discretionary manner, since there is confluence there between the EMA 9 and 7 period, then I would do a range between 557 and 566, where the SMA 10 could land at in the following day. Okay, so just as a little, very discretionary measure here, that could happen. Okay, so let's look at the 6 hour. The 6 hour also suggesting a very limited downside here, but it looks like this is a tiny pivot. So it looks like it's waiting for the shorter time frames to validate that support first before that one can continue on to the upside. 12 hour also in the same situation here as the 6 hour, as this one is actually within the gravitational zone. So very likely for this to face a very short-term downside before it can actually continue on to the upside. Huge thrust here. Okay, and let's see the daily. The daily just moonshotting here into the bull strength upside. We already saw that on that volatility versus momentum and the buy daily. Man, okay, so yeah, the downside that I'm talking to you guys is very particular here. It's very particular because it is suggesting the downside only tomorrow. So following tomorrow, or let's see. So if we're on Monday right now, I'm on Monday. Sorry, I know that there's people out of the country here, but if I'm looking at Monday right now, that means that we could be in a reaccumulation phase. You know, from this overextension already. Actually, we're not even overextended yet. So from this point, there is a floor that we're finding here before we can continue onwards. And that is likely to happen between Tuesday and Wednesday. And then maybe an upside thrust following either Wednesday, maybe Wednesday afternoon. So it's hard to tell right now, guys, but it looks like it's probably a day or two of reaccumulation before a continuation to the way up. And definitely notice here that just the daily time frame, volatility versus momentum, is 100% bullish and suggesting just huge upside thrust. I don't know how long this ticker has been trading for, but I can potentially see. So it's been since 2020, right? September 2020, right around there. And there isn't that much historical value for a back test, right? As this is this is expansion to contraction. There is one here, and it was a massive, massive upside. Okay, this one right over here was also, let's see, in the price action. Sorry about that, you guys. I know I can get a little cluttered sometimes, right? So let me just look at the price action here, right? Okay, so there's another upside here from expansion to contraction. It's this here. Okay, so this you can see how my vertical cursor actually lines up with the upside on the stochastics versus price action, right? So that little pivot here is literally that massive, massive upside that it got. This contraction phase right over here was particular to this upside thrust right over here. So this is just how I backtest things, right? So just kind of so you're in line with that. So critical expansion without contraction here actually did get this move to the upside, actually all the way up here. That was a very nice move too. This one, okay, man, this has almost a 100% accuracy. Nope, it has about a 90% accuracy of upside thrust. I just don't know how far up, right? Based on, I would really need to gather all of the samples for a statistical data set, right? So, but it looks like it's a 90% hit rate on the buy daily volatility versus momentum, and it's suggesting a continuation of it, and in a very aggressive manner, by the way. Okay, so man, this is yeah, guys, it's looking very, very promising. So now, just to add to the list, ticker symbol GETY and BBAI are very powerful tickers, and to be honest, I mean, GETY, sorry, could be just slightly behind BBAI, as I think BBAI still has massive upside to go, right? But in this ticker, it's the advantage that this one has over BBAI is that it's a little earlier than BBAI. The 3-day time frame making a huge cross over that 14-day simple, looking very promising here. Let me see the 5-day. The 5-day, man, already making that 14-day simple cross to the upside. Notice here that the volatility is in contraction while an upside pivot on the 5-day. I didn't see the 3-day. 3-day upside pivot, bi-daily upside pivot, of course, right? And the daily still with an upside pivot. So the weekly upside pivot, damn. All right, so multiple upper term time frame upside suggestions means that, like I said, a potential 2 days of consolidation versus reloading, right? And then this thing can actually make an upside move. To be very clear with you guys, I'm not exactly sure where it can go to, but the very, very obvious targets would first of all be at the resistance of these two candles here, right? So this closing of this candle, wick high of this one, located right at the 1 fib at $7.08, right? That's an obvious target. The next target, and very probable, could also be this candle high being located right upside of the 1 spot 272 at 808. Okay, now if it does make a moonshot here, and I'm talking about not particularly moon, right, but there is high relevance here to the 1.618 golden mean, the 50 SMA, and the 100 SMA. Okay, so that could be a few days away, but just I personally don't like to hold some assets like this overnight, right? But I mean, market cap is at 2 billion. And with a very small float, 161. So, I mean, it's not that unsafe, I guess. This could be a pretty good swing play, actually. So, definitely keep this one in mind as well, as this is presenting a very interesting opportunity. And I can't even say what the hell is forming here, but this is a very interesting V-shaped recovery. Huge hammer candle on the weekly down here, suggesting that upside. So, this could have been seen a mile away if we were able to if I were to have seen this ticker maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, I would have already been signaling that potential upside. Bounce from the gravitational zone here on the weekly R side. Yeah, this is cool. It's following geometrics and it's following physics. Very nice too. Okay, you guys, so 2 tickers right now to keep very close eye on, okay? So, let's see what else we have right now, okay, you guys? MMAT is going to be the next ticker that we have to look at, as I know that there is a huge fight for what's happening within the Twitter space, right? I know a lot of you have been mentioning over what happened in, what was it? It was the emails? Did somebody say that there was an email leak between the SEC and FINRA? And that's the reason why we're getting a lot of pump right now. It's interesting that it happened right at the end of March, right? We were all already looking for March 29th for a potential upside continuation, right? So very curious here. And in fact, MMAT is already showing high potential here for an upside. So my goodness me. All right, you guys, so actually I do have to open up this window. It's getting a little ridiculously hot in here. I forgot to open it before we started. Let me just open it up real quick. Hold on. So chat, dive in. Let me know. Please, I'm actually looking at the screen still. I'm just getting this window open real quick. Hold on. Let me know what the hell that rumor was. Is it a rumor? Is it true? What's going on with FINRA and SEC and that stuff? All right. Don't be shy. Do not be shy. All right, so let's go ahead and just put on these headphones back on and continue on the analysis here. Something with blue sheets. Yeah, I know that there was a thing going around, right? Lots of people talking about that that thing in Twitter about, I think, emails leaked from the SEC. Ooh, my goodness. Mark Roach, it's 37 degrees outside, and inside Arca's house, 110 degrees. When I have all these screens in front of me and this massive desk with gear all over it, buttons and all kinds of lights, you know it gets hot. And also looking at ticker symbol Getty and that BBAI, whoo, boy, getting really hot in here, man. Oh, my goodness. You know how that song goes. I'm not even going to start singing that as it is X-rated up in here, okay, you guys? We want to make sure that even our 12-year-olds can listen to this conversation, okay? Hear Arca speak all kinds of nonsense all day. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on with ticker symbol MMAT, and that's going to be, let's see, what time is it right now? All right, perfect. All right, so let's see what it's got. So already on the 12-hour volatility versus momentum, it looks like we could be now reverting back to the mean with a massive upside pivot here from oversold, okay, on that stochastics. It's already curious to see that it could be mean reverting from a very, 81%, I guess, is not too bad. I would really prefer it to be at 90, right? But still, 80 percentile is another type of statistical play that you can do. Guys, remember that I know that you guys try to. There's always a question regarding volatility versus momentum for me. There is no right or wrong answer the way you look at it or perceive your upside or downside thesis based on this strategy itself. Right? So the reason why I say this is because everyone will interpret volatility or momentum differently. Okay, so if you have a particular edge, if you feel like there is some type of something happening when the moving average gets crossed by the volatility component, I used to do that too. I used to count the times that the volatility component would cross the moving average, and I would then compare it to the price action, right? So just know that there are several ways to interpret this. Just get creative. Just grab your imagination and see what you can do, right? How many times has the EMA 7 crossed above the 14 period alongside the volatility continuing on to the upside? There's so many ways, guys. There's so many ways to look at this. There's not one way to look at it. This is my personal way of interpreting it, which I hope can serve for you as an inspiration to look at it in your own way. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here, as I was going to pull up that reversion variant to see if that reversion variant is suggesting up or down for the mean, right? So actually, it's saying that we're right at the mean right now. Okay, so let me pull up another algo to see if that could be. Okay, so the mean on this case would be a massive upside here. Wow. All right, hold on. Let's see the daily. The daily is just $1. Geez, that's huge. Let me see this. 12 hour. Okay, so the 12 hour is suggesting, 89 cents. That's huge. That's huge upside. And it is probable because there's a lot of FOMO happening. So yeah, this is also curious here that we're starting to get an expansion phase and is rejecting the contraction, and we're getting an upside pivot on momentum. So in this case, I would have to favor my. I know this is not an invalid. This is not an invalid target, right? The 6504 or 6488 or whatever that is there. The only reason I'm saying that I'm going to favor my algo in this situation here is because of this. Go ahead and notice that the price action is just above the mean, and the volatility component is just outside of the mean as well here. Right, so it looks like the ARC reversion variant or the Arca Bulls, indicator could be a little more consistent to this area here as we are moving away from the mean. So that gives us an idea as to what could be happening. We also got some long signals down here. So if we were to have followed these long signals, then we're way up, right? So this is suggesting a potential top side of the Bollinger Bands at 5606. Which already has some rhyming now with the Freed's variant, right? So 5554, 5554 looking like it could be one of those resistance touches. And another way to validate this, which could be done, it could be done with some fib levels. So let's just go ahead and take a reversion or a retracement, from the fibs here. Swing high to the swing low of the current 8-hour candle. And let me pull up that reversion variant again and see the top side. So the top side is suggesting very, very confluent target here to the 1.272 at 56.31. We're already eyeballing that 56 cent level, right? So now let me see if the Freed's variant actually has this one is to the 2 fib. It's not bad, and it's actually, let's see. So we're on the 8-hour time frame. 480 minutes, right? So that's 32.4% away from that target. So I guess there is an upside to be faced here, but the upside is very difficult to see because none of these time frames are within critical volatility. In fact, everything is lingering around the mean, right? So in this case, if I'm not catching volatility to be increasing here, then this could be a potential slow mover, right? So, this doesn't speak slow moving, right? But all of this for the last weeks and weeks and weeks does speak slow moving. So let me look at now just the RSI, because this could be kind of a way to validate this. And I also want to see what the 10-day. Let me look at this. So the average volume at over 10 days is 9 million. Yeah. That's not the greatest number in the world. And another thing that we could do here is, let me see this. Okay, so let me pull up the scanner here and take a look at MMAT, right? So let me just type it in like this and see what we have as that's very slow, you guys. Okay, so this is over a 14-day period, average true range of 5 cents. That's not what I would trade ever. Okay, but it is suggesting an upside. Okay, I would usually like to see this at about 70, 80, maybe 90 cents. But 5 cents over 14 days is pretty slow, and I think it's because it's all of this. We're starting to get news right now, so yeah, I guess the reaction is happening now. So then we would actually see an adjustment to that average true range a little later, right? So, but the daily is suggesting a very nice little move here, suggesting an upside, right? But again, I was talking about pulling up the RSI. So let's start off with the RSI, just like we always do. Immediate short-term time frame first, right? So let's go to that 30-minute potential loading zone. But we're losing bear strength here with this pivot, and it's very it usually happens like this, right at this level here, because of the gravitational zone, right? So this downside could be very limited to, let's see, if the price action is sitting right now at 49 cents, then this downside here, the split, this little tiny gap here, could be that area for loading, right? So it could be used as an area of support, and I mean it's small enough to consider a fill, right? So 47.46 to 47.29, very likely to touch the very, very top of that before rejection. And that could be something. This is immediate short term too, but if you start to actually pull this back, you'll start to see a high relevance of this target here with previous areas of resistances, right? So let's just go ahead and there we go. All right, there you go, and there you go. Okay, so yeah, you can see here it even lines up with a previous gap right there. So very, very likely, very likely to touch down to this area here, immediate short term. Okay, so but remember, that's not too far away. 49 to 47.47 is a kind of a sneeze, right? So but I do see the relevance of this target here. Okay, so previous gap here, current gap here, resistance touch here, resistance touch here. It's highly probable. Okay, so again, if we want to measure. I will take the previous 30-minute candle and start a inverse fib here, and that topside target could I wouldn't really, man, I don't know. If suggesting 47.08, that scares me a little bit. Okay, so I would actually take into consideration maybe this candle, but remember that within smaller time frames there is more and more noise. Okay, you guys, so it's also something to consider here. So now in respects to the one spot 618, this could actually be a better way to look at it, because if you are looking at a touch, huge red candles here, right? So if you are looking at a touch of that 47.72, there is a high probability that you can wick below it and then recover, right? As it does happen very often. Okay, so now let's go to the bi-hourly time frame and see what MMAT has. Bi-hourly, in my personal opinion, I don't really trust candles too much in shorter time frames, but this is a shooting star. Okay, so this is suggesting a potential downside. So is the RSI. Okay, so but it looks to be very limited, and because of that limitation is why I'm still suggesting and favoring this gap target. Right, so let's look at the 6-hour time frame. 6 hour time. Okay, yeah. So very limited downside here, you guys. Likely to live out within the first half. Maybe even the early. Does this have a pre-market by the way? I'm not even sure myself. I haven't really seen this ticker too much, but it looks like there is. So very likely to happen in the pre-market for this. So let's pray for a big move in the pre-market. I'm sorry, you were talking to somebody. Yeah, you guys, it looks like it's just going to be early session reaccumulation, and then it could actually start making its trek to the upside. The only thing that can invalidate my slower move or slower ticker concept here is the fact that there could be a great amount of FOMO and psychology just diving into this ticker, right? So that could be one of those reasons. 8-hour time frame RSI pivoted straight to the upside, very, very nice. 12-hour time frame also pivoted straight to the upside, likely for the daily and the bi-daily as well. Upside pivot on the daily, bi-daily upside pivot. 3-day making a very important cross above that 14-day simple, and the 5-day could actually be just under that 14-day simple. There we go. Okay, so yeah, very likely for this thing to continue on to the upside, but not if I'm just looking at the charts here, not suggesting or not keeping into consideration psychology, then this could be making an upside move very slowly here. And I definitely see some maybe a 60 cent to about 63 cent touch right over the next few days. So this, it's not looking bad. It's just it doesn't move the way I would personally like for it to move. And also, this is heavily psychologically impaired, right? Lots of people holding from just very, very high targets here from back when I was covering this, right? So another thing is that in the 5-day time frame, it looks like there is a broadening descending wedge here, and we could be at that floor right now. So if we just get rid of that and we just make a quick little trend line here, we can see that we, let's see, could it be, I want to actually say, yeah, it's slightly descending. Okay, so that's still good. And this could be those support touches right down here. Let me see if I can actually get up to this support and see if it does have any conflict. Oh, it does. Wow. Okay, so right there, and I'm not looking at this candle here. I'm actually looking at this one and these two. Right, so when I make these trend lines, I make them very specific, right? So I'm trying to see if there's any way that I can actually favor one of these candles, right? So for example, that touch there, looking at these two there, and I just adjusted it so I created a little space. So now I have to bring them up a little to see if I can move them and gain the actual support touches from these two, and it did. Right, so very, very, very nice there, and also support touch right there as well. So this could be the floor. All right, so, and it's also showing everywhere else in the indicators too. All right, so the MMAT could very well be at a floor right now, and it's playing the golden rule of 3 very nicely. This is test 1, test 2, test 3, capitulation event, reaccumulation right over here. And then it would be continuing on to the upside, and it would actually succeed this at about 176. But it would take a large amount of time if there's no FOMO applied to this, right? So this ticker has made some very impressive runs. Notice this, just all 5-day green candles here, right? So over the span of about over 2 months right here. So this is incredible. And also, if you guys remember, I did cover MMAT for the massive upside that it created just I don't know, like a month or 2 ago. So it was also a broadening descending wedge. So we now know that historically this formation with this ticker tends to work. Okay, so regardless of the fact that I'm not all that bullish on it, it's still pretty significant here, right? So keep an eye on it. It's just for those of you who are trading it, just keep an eye on it. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and now end off that ticker symbol MMAT, and I would like to dive into ticker symbol AI. Okay, as I know that there were a few people asking me about that ticker. Was that in here? And let's see. Yeah, wow, ticker symbol AI making massive upside here, right? Interesting. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and make a note right here that we are going to get this ticker started, right? And yeah, hold on. Just a sec, you guys. Just a quick sec, right? So we're potentially getting into the last ticker or 2 for the night, but I will actually, let's just get there, right? So let's load up some tools here, and we'll start off with the BBWP, volatility, right, and momentum, just to see if there's a nice upside here, as there actually is, but this is a little overextended already. Massive critical volatility. So that means that the upper time frames may still have much more juice for this thing to continue. And this is just, guys, here's something for you to consider. Even for my master students still present, notice this gap here, okay? So let's just go ahead and take that gap into consideration and take it into the current price action, and just notice where the price action closed. Okay, so we actually came right to that freaking gap and actually closed right beneath it. So that's using the resistance from a previous gap, and this is why I tell you all the time to keep your previous gaps in line for future play, right? So it's very important that you can notice these important, very critical key resistances and supports, right? So let's just try to see. Oh man, there is a very nice zone here. Okay, so I'm going to point at something right now that these are usually known as imbalances or potential anomalies, right? So just like this right over here. Come on, man. Click it. Just like I'm sorry. I'm really close to my candles there. That's the reason why. So this zone here, actually, I would have to favor the lower one. There we go. Just like this, right? So that resistance or this support here is very, very important. And why I am saying it's super important is because there's no historical, there's nothing before it. There's nothing holding price action back from that area. From this point to this point here, that's, I mean, on a daily time frame, you know, some people may consider that as a fair value gap, right? But it's just, it would be more particular to a wick instead of like a group of candles, right? But it's very similar to a fair value gap. So this can actually, if it did succeed this 39.49, it would be a very, very fast slide to about $43. So it would be a 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, like a $4 slide. And that would be very interesting, right? Because the price action can actually even just push to the upside, and then it would come back and start validating as a support. So these types of areas here, guys, are very, very nice for you to consider potential trades, right? So I'm just saying, right? So that it's just very nice there. So there could be another. No, not so much here. Maybe. Actually, yeah. From this point on, too, it'll be a little more difficult because there is one area of resistance here at 38.46. But that would be 36.24 to 38.46 could be another really nice little slide there. So price action may start getting very easily manipulated to the upside here for ticker symbol AI shortly. So daily volatility versus momentum still suggesting a very nice upside here, which now makes me more curious over the buy daily, 3-day, and 5-day, as this oscillator on the buy daily and 3-day very likely to be inside of the bullish control zone. So let's go ahead and see now. Buy daily momentum inside of the bullish control zone with a massive upside pivot and in critical volatility. Okay, so now let's look at the 3-day, a little bit lower, potentially by the 50 percentile. And you can see here 50 percentile on the 14-day simple. EMA 3 is actually now with a massive upside pivot inside of the bullish control zone. And this one could have an upside pivot, but let's just see. Okay, very nice. Very, very impressive here for the upside on the upper term time frames. So upside pivot in the bullish control zone with a contraction phase starting on the 5-day. So this is very powerful. In fact, there is a little bit of an inverse herpy-derpy right here, right? So we actually have the neckline pretty obvious right here too. So as this could very well be it. Let me see. I could actually favor these candles right here. Let me just move it up just a little bit because I think the neckline could be consistent. It definitely is. Okay, so let me hold on just a sec. Let me just make, this is always very discretionary, right? And I don't like to trade like this anymore, but it's just it's a freaking silly formation over here. Okay, you guys. So yeah, potential neckline there. And let me just go ahead and take let's see, the price action from the center all the way to the lowest point, right, of the price action for this herpy-derpy, the inverse herd and shoulders. All right, so what is that upside target? Let's put it to the neckline up. And notice how it's taking us right to our discretionary resistance, right? So very curious that it would take us to that area, right? And why that area? Remember, this is that slide that I told you before we can face massive resistance here. Slightly succeed that and then come back down to an area of support, right? So not only that is that this can also be confused with a freaking stupid cuppy derpy over here. So cup and handle, right? So that one as well has this one actually has a further upside of which can be confluent to this target here about 54.10. But I honestly think that this would be the higher hit rate formation if the sentiment does accept this on a 5-day time frame, right? So it's already in play. So maybe. Maybe, right? So, but yeah, everything is suggesting a very nice upside thrust on this. Okay, so man, huge upside on that 5-day RSI. Let me look at the 30-minute here, and see what we have. So I'm just going to shift that to the upside and also shift this just a little bit smaller, right, so that we can start to see the RSI's perspective, right? So we have a loading zone potential here, very likely to be down into the area of about 33.45 to about 33.49. In a very discretionary manner, right? I know it's hard to see. They're tiny candles here. 30 minutes, just so you can see just how much I have to actually zoom into, right? So, yeah, in this case, I'm sorry, there would be the space between 33.34 and 33.54. Okay, so what the hell was that? I thought that sounded like my cat. All right, just like this. Okay, so 33.36 to 33.54. Very likely an area for reaccumulation and then a continuation to the upside. But let's validate the thesis, though. So bi-hourly time frame still suggesting some downside, giving validity to this support target. 6-hour time frame. I don't trust that too much, but we still have that 14-day simple below us, potentially giving this more validity as well. So the 12-hour time frame, let's see. This is definitely, we're just waiting for the influence from the shorter time frames. Likely the daily is upward. So this is an upside pivot, still very likely to fail, continue onwards, right? So similar to something like this here, where you get that upside and then it continues. Very similar to that. Okay, so historically speaking, the daily time frame has enough space to run up actually recently all the way up to about 89.42%. Okay, so this is sitting right now at about 74, so massive upside still to be looked at. In fact, this daily time frame could be giving more validity to these targets here and also to the inverse herpy-derpy, right? So now let's go to the buy daily, and the buy daily, very similar situation right here as the daily. Right, still very similar to this pivot right over here, right? So let's zoom in just a little bit so you can see what I mean. Even the degree, right? So this particular pivot here is so similar to this one here, very likely to actually succeed a continuation to the upside. 3-day moonshotting here, entering overbought. Sorry, it's still within that gravitational zone. Of course, we've actually reversed from that area. Well, we've continued onwards and upwards, right? So the only difference between this area here is that we had several consolidation candles, right? But in this area here, in this particular area here, we have massive green candles, right? So, and also we definitely had, we had the 14-day simple. Oh, we still have the 14-day simple moving average there. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, a 3-day time frame looking very bullish. 5-day time frame as well, using that 14-day simple as that form of support. Man, this is very impressive, you guys. So this one too, man, weekly time frame at that gravitational zone of the RSI, very likely to continue onwards and upwards for a few days, actually, if that is the case. So if sentiment decides to take this thing there, guys, yeah, one of the minimum targets that I could be looking at would be that 42.93. All right, so now if you were to take, I guess if you were to take that cup into consideration, right, so, which I wouldn't, I don't even like the freaking formation in the first place. I generally don't like many formations, right, but that's only because I'm already in mathematical applications, right, so this would be suggesting a topside target of about 60.39. So that's really huge. So let's just take some fibs here from the current weekly high to the weekly range low. Okay, so this target here from the cup is super confluent with the 2.618 at 59.12. And notice here that this target here from the inverse herpy-derpy is very confluent with the 1.618. Two golden ratios being suggested right now. I mean, that doesn't happen often, so I think ticker symbol AI could have a massive thrust coming in, you guys. And this is yet again another one to compete with ticker symbol GETY and BBAI. Okay, so this is another one to keep on your list because this is very likely going to continue to the upside. But remember that at any point these things can sell off, and also AI is very it's kind of expensive, right? But I mean, also remember that ChatGPT version 4 came out recently, so this could be the reason why we're getting upside. So ticker symbol AI may continue moving onwards and upwards as soon as they start releasing more and more versions to the upside, right? So meaning that you had a 3.5 version of ChatGPT, you had a 3.5 something else of ChatGPT. Now the version 4 just came out for the premium users. That's likely why we're getting a massive upside too, right? So as the developers are showing a promise of continuation and innovation within the intelligence, the artificial intelligence model, right? So this is very impressive, you guys. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for. Okay, you guys. So guys, that's gonna be the last ticker for tonight, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure to continue on the tickers for the next run, right? So this was a very nice stream. I absolutely appreciate everybody for coming by, and more than anything, guys, thank you so much for my donations. That it absolutely helps these streams continue, and it absolutely helps me continue, right? So, but moderators, really appreciate you for coming by, right? Sebastian Lim, Mark Roach, Cal L, love you, buddy. So, and I know Hound's probably back there chilling somewhere, right? So, just know that I see you there, buddy, and I hope you're having a good time. So Miss L, very, very, very happy to have you here in here, right? So Indra H, Sean O, always a good time with you, man. Cash Mountain Trades, love you guys. All right, so yeah, let's just go ahead and cut it out here, you guys, and we'll make sure to keep an eye on the markets. Make sure to watch the videos that I released, and remember, guys, if you do want to reserve a seat for the ArcMasters trading course, this is going to be it. I'm not going to continue it from here, okay, you guys? So this is just going to be the last course, and it's over for a while until whenever else. Okay, you guys, but yeah. But with that said, I wish everybody a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.